All right, chat. What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody is having a great day. Um, this is the SOB podcast. We are live for episode 3. Major 1 just concluded. We're going to be talking all things Major 1 here in the show. I am joined by the two-time champ himself, Mr. Austin Smiles Belcher. Buddy, how you doing today?
Doing phenomenal, doing phenomenal. Excited for the weekend. Major one kicks off tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I mean, we had a really busy end of the week, ending up pool play here. So we had a lot of stuff going on this week, holiday week. So yeah, like I said, I'm just excited for the major and you know, see what happens this weekend.
Yes, sir. We got a big week to recap, 9 matches to go over, and we got a big weekend ahead of us with the bracket. So, not going to waste any time. Get right into it. We are doing this pod a little bit on the fly today, so excuse us not having our fancy slides and all the things as we run this. But we're going to get this right to you since we got so much action going on tomorrow. But yeah, so we started off things after the Christmas break with a match between the Gorillas and the Widowmakers. This match was the first time the Gorillas finally really showed any like signs of weakness. Widowmakers, they did lose both S&Ds in this series, so it was a 2 respawn, and then I believe um,
I got it pulled up.
a hard point, yeah, a hard point map 4 win for the Gorillas. So, um, you know, it was a close series. Gorillas really could have won that overload from what I have in my notes here. They lost it 3-4, as you can see on the stat sheet. But yeah, I mean, Gorillas, I think they went up 2-0 after this, and Widowmakers went down to 1-2, I think, after that. So, both teams kind of an important matchup. Gorillas won it. And yeah, what do you think about that one, Smiles?
I mean, yeah, just looking at your good. Yeah, I mean, it was a close series. I mean, every map. I mean, looking at map one, I mean, 250, 227. I mean, that's anybody's ball game there towards the end, and then the overload 1 point game there also. I mean, this was outside of the S&Ds, it felt like all the respawns were really close and are very close in a tight series. Just Crata and Melt. I mean, looking at their numbers for the day, I mean, phenomenal. I mean, even look at Frog Dog, he had a really good map. Even though they lost the map, he had a good map one, lost the map as well. So I mean, seems like this team's clicking, playing really well, playing good on all game modes, and I think that truthfully, some of the best S&D teams will more than likely win the major. So I think this team with Crowder and Melt, and even Kraken, I mean, this is a real threat. As they're looking dangerous going into the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We'll continue to talk about them as they, I believe, have a couple more matches on this list, and kind of that dominance was showed. But I'm not gonna dwell on that too long. Not gonna dwell on a few of these first ones long, as a lot of teams played multiple times over the week. But this next match we do have to talk about a little bit is the Masturbators versus the Gizmos Good Boys on the same day. We had a triple header on this first day back. And this match, man, this was as close as you could get. But Gizmos could have really won it sooner. If they had 100 point, like hard point lead, and lost round or map 2 in around 11. They lost the overload in a pretty close map as well. So like masturbators, they could have Neslo'd this, they could have won, but it really comes down to poison. And I mean, don't want to glaze this guy too much, but in map 5, 13-0, did not die one time. And I have a really good stat. I've been talking about this to a few people. It's kind of crazy. In the 2 map 5s that the Gizmos Good Boys played, Poison went 27-2.
Yeah, you can see it here on the bottom of your screen. The other game five is right next here to the left.
Yeah. So 27-2. If you run into Gizmos Good Boys in map 5, Poison's calling game. That's, I think, something really important to look at as we go into this weekend. Smiles, how you feeling about this one?
I mean, yeah, kind of similar to the first one. I mean, really tight series all the way through. Outside of map one and map four, kind of really anybody's game. Um, it's kind of a carbon copy of the last series. It's coming down to the better S&D team. Both teams are able to win a hard or win a respawn and a hard point. Both teams are able to win a respawn, and then obviously Gizmo is able to win two, both hard points, and then the S&D to close it out. So I mean, it's a win for the Gizmos Good Boys. You go home happy. Obviously, it's a clean, 6-0 game 5. But as a, masturbators, this isn't like a loss you have where you're, you know, pulling a King Coning, slamming the desk, biting your fingernails that much. I mean, you just chalk it up and go next for them. I mean, it was a great series. I mean, Yerm's playing really well. Same thing with Hoffy. And, it's been the story for the last 2 years for Cooper, really three. I remember when he came in towards the back end of MW3, came in, I think, just for champs. It was like that his team, it was him, Paul, and company, and everybody thought that they were going to win it just because of Cooper. So when Cooper's on your team, you always got a fighting chance. I feel like he's always, in that top 3 team category, always, pushing to play on Sundays. And like I said, for for the masturbators, you just chalk up the close series loss and you go next, and you just get, this is a good series. Going into the major, good practice, good reps against a really good team.
Yeah, 100%. I think I even said it on stream casting that night. Like, if you're the masturbators, you just got to GG and go next. Like what can you do at that point, really? Um, just yeah, this is rough. But this story doesn't end for the Gizmos Good Boys on this night because they did play both their last matches on the same night, and immediately following that loss or that win, I should say, they played the Goon Squad, and this one did not go as well for them. This was the Gizmos Good Boys' first loss of the season. They were 3-0, 3-0 going into this match. They were first place in their division going to this match, and this is the series that cost them that, as they ended up tying with Goon Squad and losing the head-to-head tiebreaker. Lost this series in a 3-1 fashion. Kind of like I said, if you get to map 5 against Gizmos, you're gonna get slammed by Poison, but Goon Squad did a good job. Did not let it get to map 5. Um, they're absolute bang out maps, as you can see on the board here. The first map 1 was 250 to 242. Really could have went either way. They went to round 11 in map 2. They had a 6-5 overtime in overload, which I believe that might have been the one where, like, if anybody was watching these matches a lot like I do, like, Lonely was in like a 1v4 for like a minute and a half at the end of the game, like on an overtime, because three of Goon Squad died like right as the overtime started, and the whole weird thing with the S&D round you get at the end of overload. um but yeah, no, it could have went really every way, either way. But Goon Squad kind of took over, and this is kind of the moment when they might kind of showed that they were going to be one of the top teams in this major one. So, what do you think about Gizmos and Goon Squad in this one?
I mean, truthfully, I mean, Gizmos, you just chalk it up, man. I mean, you played a series before, and if I'm not mistaken, this was delayed. This match was delayed by like an hour or so, if I'm not mistaken. Can you correct me on that or am I wrong?
Uh,
I think this one was
I
the
don't know
one
if
that
it
was
ended up being an hour, but it was a little
it
bit.
was a
It
little
was
bit
a delay.
delayed. So I mean, a little bit of ice coming in out of the Goon Squad. I got the stats pulled up here right in front of us, and for the Goon Squad, you're lucky to get out of map 1 with the win with how poor Nick played. I mean, you don't want to see that number out of there. Getting carried by your last pick in the draft. And then Reva, I mean, I've teamed with him, won a tournament with him. I mean, he's a phenomenal player to be playing with on an SMG role. He's really fast paced and aggressive. Sorry, but then obviously Nick able to kind of heat it up towards maps 2 through 3. Um, there, but really for me, the MVP of this series is Lonely. I don't think if Lonely plays that well. I mean, he dropped over basically 1 point. 2-5 in the respawns in the first 2 to 3 and the overload of map 1. So, I mean, Lonely really the MVP that catapulted this team and kept them alive. And then, I mean, if you're and you won 2 maps, you won 250, 242, and you won a 6-5 round 11 S&D. So, I mean, it's a loss for Gizmos, but it's another thing like, talking about the masturbators, it's a loss you have, and they're, some tight maps across the board. And it's one of those things where you just, take the learning lesson, take the loss, learn from it as a team. A lot of this is, people playing together for the first time. And, that's kind of what all these pool play matches are is comfortability and figuring out what maps you like, what you guys, want to do on the map and whatnot. So yeah, and again, it's a win for Goon Squad. Flaws that we'll talk about later when we get down the line, but it's a loss, but a good win out of Goon Squad for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. So this is the last time we're gonna talk about Gizmo's Good Boys in these recaps. Do you have any further thoughts about them going into the bracket on Sunday,
Just going in the bracket, to me, it's my day
Saturday?
one. Um, my day one problem with this roster is I'm pulling up their stats. Obviously, Cooper's on the top, and then it goes Jay Wall, Coney, Han. As we go over to this side, to me, it comes down to one thing, and it's just the mental capacity of this team. These what adversity they face. Are they going to be able to fight through it, or is the adversity going to be too much for them to be able to come back in a series if they go down 2-0, 2-1 backs against the wall, if they drop into losers and really have to make that gauntlet run, because it is a lot. If you really drop the losers, you're going to play a lot of Call of Duty to make your way back to grand finals. Last year, I had the unfortunate, opportunity to do that 2 times. I bowed out in losers finals both times, and it was like 36 maps played just to get a chance to go play for the finals after losing. So it's a lot of COD to be played. That's my biggest
Yeah, for
concern with
sure.
them, on if they're going to be able to, get in. That's a lot of adversity back against the wall, and that's one thing I said about this team when they were drafted is, that's my concern with them. And obviously, pool plays you don't really get to see that much because when a series is over, you kind of everybody leaves a call and goes their own ways, and nobody really has to load up into the next map 20, 30 minutes later. That's my biggest takeaways. I think if Cooper's on your team though, you always have a chance, especially when he's dropping a 1.55.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I kind of feel the same way. I casted those last two matches that they played, and you could definitely kind of hear the difference between when they're winning and when they're losing. Like that first match when they ended up beating masturbators, like there's definitely some frustrations, but like that, they started to get on the board and the win, and they built that confidence. But in that last series, you started to hear it come through when we got into the listen, and like, dude, I'm at 90 ping, and oh, lonely, are you serious, and some of those like rage kind of tendencies that we talked about that could be a problem on this team. And so I gotta wonder, like when they start to get to that adversity in the bracket this weekend, is that going to peer through? But I will say, I did really start to hear some maturity out of Poison in the sense of him like trying to calm them down and be like, lock in, guys. It's all good. Like we still got this. So I'm interested to see if maybe that prevails as well this weekend, and they do all right. But
Yeah, yet again, I feel like Cooper knows he has to do that though with the people he has on his team. And when I'm saying this about certain players, I know King Coney thinks I hate him. Saying with J Wall, I just look at it on you know keeping your teammates in check and not checking out your teammates. And obviously, I've played with a couple of people in the past that it's like checkable tendencies on checking yourselves out or not. So I feel like that's just Cooper realizing that he's got to really keep everybody in check and whatnot. And he's just doing his role. He's maturing, getting older, and he's a phenomenal talent in the league.
yeah, 100%. Um, and Isaac brings up a great point in chat
Okay,
that
chat's not
yeah.
running for me anymore. What am I missing?
So he says, so a minor has to keep three grown men in check in a video game. I think that's an important point. Like it feels like maybe it should be the other way around on the terms of that leadership. But hey, um, you know, I guess it's kind of the way it goes sometimes.
Sorry, I guess chat's not rolling for
I
me.
guess it's
I'm
kind of the way
sorry.
it goes. Oh no, that echo is horrible. I heard my
I'm
voice
just yeah,
in the
sorry.
Discord
No,
chat.
it just stopped
No,
running
you're
on my
good.
phone for whatever reason, so I'm gonna be jumping back and forth. Sorry, I want to read chat. So if anything's fucked
No,
up,
you're
just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. But moving on to this next match, I believe this might have been the one that you casted, Smiles.
Hollow
We had the Hollow
Knights,
Knights versus the Fab Four.
fucking cinema of a series.
Yeah, we
Um,
had a reverse sweep. Hollow Knights ended up taking that one out 3-2. I mean, yeah, you casted it. I'll let you go in on this one.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. There's two matches this night. Obviously they gave me the pickums, like, hey, which one do you want? And truthfully, I said, give me the match that's going to be over in an hour. Not even an hour. I said, give me the 30-minute series. Turns out the other series was a 30-minute series, and I got the hour and 45-minute series. Pissed about that, but truthfully, I didn't mind it. It was a phenomenal series. I mean, obviously, a bad map won out of Flicks and Co. Really, nobody could get really anything going that map. Magic gets a good map out of him. Map one, and then you lose. What was it? I think it was 5-1 on the S&D, and a reset happened, and they came all the way back 5-5, force around 11. It felt like after that reset, just life kicked into this Hollow Knights team, and they just seemed to click a lot better. I mean, you go into the exposure overload. The scoreboard says 3-2, but it was always a 2-point lead for the Hollow Knights, so they really always in control of that map. And Then you go into the map 3 or 4, sorry, Colossus, and Carson just called game from the jump.
Yeah,
I mean, we're look
yeah,
at it, 50-20. It's I casted it. I don't think we got off this guy's fucking POV for a minute. Like I just stayed on it almost the entire map. I mean, yet again, Vonsky had a phenomenal map. Like don't want to get that overshadowed. Same thing with Magic, but it was all Carson really that really propelled them to that win. And then obviously you carry that over to the raid. I mean, he played really good too. But then it's yet again Vonsky, a phenomenal another great map out of him, 10-4. Yeah, it just came down to this team. I said it over time. Guys are going to take time getting comfortable, get back on the game. It looks like a completely different team from their previous matches and their last one against Fab 4 team. That's pretty solid and really good all the way around. With the you got Kev, 2-time champ. You got Grant, who's this guy's been in probably more finals than anybody. Grizz. I mean, it's a very good Fab 4 team, and Hollow Knights were just really able to, once they got out of that S&D, had that little bit of momentum that got shut down. They just kept it carrying all the way over to the maps 3 through 5, and it was a great series. And really, Carson's always going to be your MVP when he's playing like this. I mean, he had one bad map and then 2 maps over 2.0 KD, but for me, it's Magic, it's Vonsky, the MVP of the series. Because they really picked it up, gave Carson that help on the map, and just made the game easier for everybody.
yeah. I mean, I completely echo everything you said, and I mean, it for Fab Four. I think it's really interesting how their major kind of I feel like flipped after this loss, but looking at them as potentially one of the better teams in that division, and I mean, when you're going up against Carson, who dropped to 2.0 KD in both of those last two matches, I mean, he kind of just called game, and Hollow Knights, this is the last time we're going to talk about them. They were 0-3 up to that point, so winning this match against the Fab Four really did change a lot for them. If they would have lost this match, they would have ended up playing the Canines in the first round, and as we'll talk about with the Grim Reapers, I think they definitely have a lot better of a draw than they would have got otherwise. And you know, with when you when you look for the Hollow Knights, like that's kind of some of that hope you might need if you're a play-in team to go from that first match all the way on Saturday to like trying to get to play to Sunday. Like if as we'll talk about, like I said with Grim Reapers in a moment, kind of have the opposite of that, and I kind of have the opposite of that, and just kind of going down into the day. So
Look,
yeah, I think
I hear you completely. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm obviously close with a couple people on that Fab 4 team, and somebody said Swizz was talking a certain way and playing a certain way the first 2 maps, and then the next 3 after the reset, he was like a completely different player. I'm convinced that cat went outside and smoked a fucking doobie and thought the series was over. Because I mean, look at his first
yeah,
2 maps, bro,
could have
and then
could have been a dab in
look at
between the maps
look
there.
at the back end of this series. He dropped a point fucking 4. He averaged a point probably 5.3 when he probably averaged almost a point. He went from a point 8 something to a point 5, and I don't know. To me, I know you were talking. I was reading chat a little bit, but I'm completely convinced Swizz went and got high in the middle of this match. I don't. You can't convince me otherwise. And it's just a bad, unfortunate events for Fab Four. I mean, they started off really hot, and then kind of really, Kev went to Hawaii to get again another vacation after they started off beat a really good Widowmakers team and just struggled down the end of the stretch.
Yeah, it really kind of is the story. I was going to bring that up too about the fact that Fab Four, they did have that 2 week break with Kev's vacation, and it's I feel like we had two teams with a big break, didn't play a lot of matches before the Christmas days off we had, and one came out and ended up taking a first seed, and the other one came out and ended up dropping all the way to fifth. So really, yeah, really unfortunate for the Fab Four. But I think that goes to show, they're going to be a dangerous team in that first round on Saturday. They had a couple winnable series that didn't go their way. They might be ready to shoot when it comes to
Shit,
Saturday morning.
everything's
So
been winnable for them. Their first 3 series, I mean, they went Game 5 every series besides the Gorillas, which are, if I'm not mistaken, the number 1 team going into the tournament.
yep.
Yeah, so they're, I mean, chalk
And
that
even
up.
then, they still took a map off of that team.
Yeah,
So
they did. So it
Yeah.
is what it
I
is.
will
But
say when
unfortunately,
those
that's true.
standings pop up that Widowmakers is supposed to be in second. So if we show those, sorry about that. It did just pop up for a sec. But yeah, no, it was yeah. Anyways, next match we had was the Goon Squad versus the Grim Reapers. This one wasn't close, as you talked about at the start of that of the Hollow Knights Fab Four, how you thought this one was going to be the hour-long match, and then the other one was going to be the 30-minute match. Well, this one was the 30-minute match. 3-0, absolute slammage. Goon Squad just put the work in, got it done, went home, went to bed early.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
just
just
Revo absolutely popped off 1.29, 2.0, and then a 1.62. I really think he's the X. Well, I mean, I think this kind of showed how he can be the X factor, but as we'll talk about in their next series, Lonely can kind of really do that too. I mean, 1.4 in the S&D, 1.12, like a little bit under the like that benchmark in the overload, but like for a newcomer to the F2 league, how often do you see them hop in and then just like, you know, perform as some of the guys who've been in for
yeah. Let me.
majors and years,
I'm
right?
gonna intervene here a little bit. We don't want to beat the Grim Reapers. These cats are down bad. This might be the worst roster we've seen, and we've had some bad ones. But
Yeah.
like
I
Nick,
mean, well,
Nick is getting fucking bailed out by having two really good teammates currently. This guy is getting bailed. He's talked his ass down the draft board, put people in front of him, and here he is now. He's got his tier four dropping a 1.11 KD. Like I said, dude, there's no other tier four dropping numbers like that. I don't think. Let me just go down the list really quickly. But I mean, yeah, it's a good team all the way through. But really, Lonely to me is going to be your guy to keep your eye on because if he's dropping a 1.1 KD, I don't think that's another guy like a 1.1 KD out of your last pick is wild. Like, that's wicked.
yeah, like that
Like
is just
nobody even has over a point eight. Okay, there's one here, which is what the Fab Four, which is a team that's fucking 1-4. So that's why I'm not counting the Fab Four out completely because of that. But yet again, went through every single team. Okay, and then who's this? Janzi, the Widowmakers. Like there are three teams that have, um, well, there's only two that are close and one over it. So I mean, yeah, Goon Squad, they're probably favorites and yada yada boo hoo, but I think they're beatable. I'm being negative, Nancy. I had to intervene.
yeah. I
One
mean,
point
nah,
one one out of
fair.
a tier four is wicked. Some people aren't
It
getting
really
that.
it
Some
really
people
is.
aren't getting that out of their their tier threes. Let's let that sink in.
Yeah, no, he definitely does, and I completely agree. Exotype TV asked in chat, "How do you join this league?" And that actually brings me to a great point. So I'm glad you brought that up. I do have an announcement. We are going to be dropping Major Two signups on this podcast. So if you give me just a moment, I will drop the link in chat. Um, and yeah, we're gonna drop them live on this podcast.
Is that the Swanee?
Did
But yeah, while he's doing that, I kind of just touch base on you a little bit. We'll jump over. I know we're talking about this series. I kind of got a little dragged away for my hatred of this squad over here. Um, but yeah, the Grim Reapers are just. Let's take a little peep at these cats over here. I mean, when this team got drafted, you got your trio of Uno, who's been in the league. He took a hiatus last year because of work, couldn't get off work on the weekends. But MW3, he was always up there as one of the most talented players in the league. Then last year, chop scrape. He was an up and coming player throughout the year. Ended up becoming a tier one towards the end of the year. Made a finals and champs. Unfortunately, lost that series to a really good team. And then Droopy, yet again, he was looked at as one of the most improved players and somebody that really everybody wanted to pick coming into this tournament. In that kind of third spot on a team. And then you have the wild card there, a new guy in the league. So this is a team that on paper going into it was my number one team coming into it. Obviously, not knowing some of the question marks and the unknowns into the league, but you have three really solid pillars for this roster that just haven't been able to pan out at all. It's unfortunate events. I mean, their first series they lost to a K9 squad, but then that was their only series that looked anything winnable. I mean, they got 3-0, 3-0, and then a 3-1 where they won a 6-2 S&D against Hoffy, which I know Hoff tried to run down the middle of the map. So it's just unfortunate. I mean, maybe they can find some stuff, figure something out. Maybe. I doubt it. I've been in the shoes before of a Chop going into a year where you're uncomfortable, haven't played as much, and just struggle to really get anything going. And that's truthfully what I'm seeing out of his gameplay and talking to him personally as well. So it's just unfortunate. You just maybe go in there and try to ruin somebody's Saturday. Truthfully, that's kind of really what it goes down to. If you're the Grim Reaper, see if you can knock somebody out or make somebody's day a little bit tougher, and you know fight to stay alive would be my
Yeah.
goal
No,
if I'm the Grim
100%.
Reapers.
Yeah, no, they play one more match, and I was kind of gonna wait to get into some of that until then. But honestly, yeah, no, it's really comes down to it. I mean, Chop had at the time of the first match they played at a .81 KD. I'm not really sure what it's looking at now, and it's
Point
kind of
seven
rough
seven
when
each drop.
yeah. So it's just like it's kind of rough when a guy you're expecting to kind of help you carry this team is kind of like struggling. Everybody struggles. Um, but I think if they come into Sunday with a good mindset, I mean, it's not like they didn't win any maps. I mean, it is a small amount that they did. They did get 3 out a couple times, but they were able to pull off some S&Ds. So, if they're maybe able to take an overload or sneak out a hard point, like a lot of their hard points have been close. Like, I mean, some of them, yes, have been absolutely like slams, but like, they lost 250 to 200 to Gizmos. Um,
250, 220, 250, 242.
Yeah, like they've had a lot of close hard points, and so they could come out on Sunday and do a little bit something, but it's really gonna depend, and also they're going up a team in Hollow Knights where as we'll talk about when we get to some of our predictions, like Hollow Knights Flicks, he's just not had a been in a major for a couple of them. I'm sure he's gonna want to come out and perform, and so they're really gonna hopefully they wake up on the right side of the bed on Saturday. Um, but yeah, no, that was the Grim Reapers versus Goon Squad match. So the next day we had the last Gorillas match when they played Fab Four for their last match as well. Um, and yeah, this one, I think what was the map count in this series? I think
You
it was a
said
three
who is
one,
it?
right?
Who they play?
It's
Gorillas.
Gorillas and Fab Four.
I got it. I was trolling somebody in the chat. Yeah, it was a 3-1 fashion. They dropped the first map, able to win the next three. S&D overload and
Yeah, and I
HP.
mean like
Close map, so
yeah, close maps like G2 1.64 KD in that map one. Like, like he absolutely oh yeah, these are the gorilla stats. Um,
who do you want me to
1.6
look at?
KD for either or. Uh, they
I'll say here.
they they lost that Fab 4. They lost that overload by 1 again. They ended up losing map 4 by like 14 points. What does it say? The map 4 score of that
Yeah,
series?
250, 250. Oh, my bad. I'll scroll down even farther. I've been too busy typing the chat back and forth with Yerm. But it was 250, 236.
Yeah, so it's like Fab Four went up against the number one seed in their last match, and they put up a fight, like a really good fight. It's just Crota, he's one of the top players in our league this major, and it's kind of tough. That map too, Kev going 1-8. That's not really something you see out of Kev a lot, especially in an S&D. Um, So yeah, no, it's a tough one for Fab Four. Gorillas, they were able to lock up the number one seed in their division, and in their and overall through that match. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you kind of really hit the nail on the head. I really don't have too much to say about it. Like you said, number one team, end of the major they played. Um, the Fab Four, obviously Kev. You kind of hit the nail on the head there. He didn't really play too hot. in the closeout of the series. He struggled. But I mean, in the respawns looked really good, truthfully. So Kev, maybe the Hawaiian sun was still kicking to him, maybe a little tired, the time change and whatnot. But yeah, a close series all the way through, and getting records and maps and all this stuff is kind of really peanuts when you come into Saturday, kind of throw the shit all out the window and go play, and that's really what I think this Fab Four team's going to do come tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think honestly, looking at all of these bottom teams, I mean, we'll talk about Grim and K9s a little bit more, but looking at Hollow Knights and Fab Four, like I don't think they're bad teams at all. Like I think they like I hate to be the
Ah,
positive guy and you be the negative, good
I'll
cop,
be
bad cop,
negative. That's fine.
but like really like I don't feel like these haven't been close matchups, and maybe that's just pool play, but um like it's just I think they really could. Either team could really come out on Saturday and win that first match. And if you're one of the number one seeds, like you got to be ready. I wouldn't overlook any of these teams.
Stop. Stop. No, no, no.
Isaac,
Stop.
Isaac.
Stop. Don't, Swanee, don't.
Jesus Christ.
This okay,
Oh
so real
Jesus.
quick,
Yeah, no, I
so
couldn't.
while
I
we put the
couldn't.
signups in, Swanee a little bit, maybe he can talk a little bit more about how they select the players that do play in the league. So there's we do have a lot of first time guys in the major or in the league this year, starting off.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm pretty positive. What they want to do is what we did last year was get some eights lobbies going, kind of get you involved into the league, kind of figure out kind of skill, not skill gap, but kind of the level, and then like they try to even it out with kind of tiers of players, even though we don't do tiers. It is a draft, and it is what is it called? He always said players of all skill, or what does Paul always say? I don't want to sound wrong.
Best
He
way. I mean, the best way to really put it is, we have uh we have a window for anybody, no matter um no matter your skill level, competitiveness, competitive COD for all skill levels is really trying
yeah,
to get
kind of
everybody involved.
right.
And there this is a little bit of a quick turnaround. I'll talk a little bit on the inside baseball on the podcast about that. The schedule is kind of originally planned to maybe have some Cincinnati lands in there, but we're not planning to have one here in January. So we're not going to really waste too much time. Going to have about 2 weeks off, 2 weeks off before we start this next major. Um, so yeah, we just didn't want to waste any time, getting signups in. We got a lot of people who are asking to join, wanting to join, and we want to get everybody in there. I would highly recommend, if you're a new player in the chat, or watch this back, and I'll definitely echo this in our Discord as well. Um, you know, get in some of these eights. We just got the neat queue system live in our Discord, and we have eights usually going on almost every night. Show up, getting those eights allows a lot of the players who've been in the league for a while to see how you are as a player, and kind of helps your draft stock. And we're if once we get new players decided, we are gonna probably reach out to people and get some like coordinated new player eights going, and playing in those and agreeing to play in those will also help your stock as well. Like, we're not going to pick somebody who signs up and then doesn't interact with our community in any way and then just expects to play. We'd really like to get you in there, but we definitely love, always open to new people. Get involved, and yeah, no, we're excited to Major Two. Looking to have Major Two weekend of February 7th and 8th. So I
Let me
know,
check my calendar.
yeah, your first thought is that might be Super Bowl Sunday, but we are going to have the games done before any football will get in the way. I promise you on that. We're
Yeah,
going to
they're
get a lot of
bullshitting
tournaments
you.
on that
You'll be playing
Saturday.
at 11 p.m.
Nope,
We're
no
get, we're
bullshit.
getting we're getting we're getting put on the Super Bowl halftime show. That's the breaking news. Um, but yeah, shout out Frog for the for the
Yeah,
prime
thank you,
sub.
Frog.
Appreciate it. But yeah, very well said.
Yeah.
And I know we're rambling a little bit too much, but we do have a new guy in the chat. So like you said, get involved kind of with the community. I mean, I know there've been a couple of guys that have been in the eights the last two nights that I was like, who the hell are these guys? And there's new guys that want to join the league. So best chance to get in is get in the Discord, and there's 85 calls in there, but there's always people in the H calls. We're always got H going, always wait lists going on. So always get in there. Truthfully, we are pretty fair with when we do H. If you don't play, then you're out. Rotate in and be in cap. So you're going to get an opportunity to play and get in, and that would be the best way to I would say possibly get put into the player pool.
Yeah, 100%.
100% Yerm. I'm in there, by the way. I'm ruining people's Friday nights so they're checked tomorrow.
100%. But yeah, no, we'll get some eights after the pod going. But a couple more matches. I'll go through these ones quickly. We've talked about a lot of these teams, except for this next team, the Bloodline. They played the Widowmakers. I believe this was a 3-1 series for the Widowmakers, and Bloodline. They were looking to be one of the top seeds in their pool. Going into that match and
Where they
didn't
at?
take it, and
Who they play?
it was Bloodline and
All right,
Widowmakers.
my bad. I was reading the chat. You talking? I can't
Nah, hey, it's all
multitask.
good. It's all good.
Yeah, you can talk about the series. My bad. I got it now. I got to pull it up.
No, it's okay. I mean, this is the one series I didn't have notes on because I was casting another match at the
All
same
right,
time.
that's fine. I mean, yeah, we'll just go based off of the scoreboard. Scoreboard here. I mean, 50-point loss, map one, a round 11 win, and then a close loss in Overload. So I mean, looks like it was a close series between the Widowmakers here and the Bloodline. Um, my biggest problem with
Oh
this
man,
with this
Bracky and that overload. Ooh boy.
yeah, I was going to talk right on over that. Yeah, but my thing is biggest problem with the bloodline. You'll probably love this is are these guys committed to playing with each other, committed to winning? That would be the biggest thing for me. The commitment and the passion out of this roster, out of this squad. Obviously VJ's been in the league before. He's stepping in for somebody, so welcome back. I don't think we've said that out on the live yet. Carnivorous, first
Yeah.
time player in the league as well. And then you got CEO Novo just really, being the anchor to this team, being the, kind of the leader, I guess. And then you got Bracky, who's,
Consistent presence.
yeah,
Yeah, for
consistent
sure.
presence for sure. He's always there. He's like the fucking barbecue sauce in your fridge. It's never going to go out. Um, and yeah, you got Bracky doing his thing, playing well at points and struggling at points as well. So, I mean, getting in a struggling team. They started off pretty strong, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they started off 2-0 and then kind of been ever since that one situation happened. It's been downhill for the team.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bracky thing that happened in that one match. I don't have to dwell on too much, but yeah, no. Ever since then, it's kind of been rough. And I mean, they're gonna play a Gizmo's Good Boys team, who were also looking to be one of the tops. So it's it's going to be interesting for the bloodline. I like the team. I think I like every team really. I don't think I guess I'm Mr. Positive today, but
Wait, I
I think it
can't.
might be a rough one going into round one against Gizmo's Good Boys, and then as we get to the look at the bracket, I believe that might put them in line to play like who knows, like it could be a rough one. They're gonna have to lock in and it's really good. I feel like if Bracky shows up, if Novo continues that consistent presence, like they definitely have a chance, But it's they're gonna have to be ready to go. And in terms of the Widowmakers here, as we're looking at their stats, I think this team was a little bit underrated throughout the middle part of this major. I mean,
Nah,
they
this
only
team was
had
not underrated.
I
I'll
mean, at least in
disagree with
my
that.
mind, they were. I don't feel like talked about enough. Will absolutely popped off in this series. Kurt's playing really well. Janzi, switched to PC and has been absolutely frying ever since then. And
Indeed.
Sketchy's anchoring this team as well. So I think this is a dangerous team to play. If you're the masturbators, I think you match up against them well. I think that series is going to go the distance, but it could really go either way. And it's going to be some interesting matchups for sure throughout the day.
Just because I'm curious here. Okay, so we got it. Yeah. Widowmakers were the number 2 power ranked team on the FT Intel channel. So not really underrated. Um, to be completely honest
Maybe
with
for
you.
you.
Now, this is just wiki because I did want to pull this up to see the difference of where we're at. But I will say the Widowmakers, to me, I thought they were a really good team once they got drafted. Like, once that team was picked, I really like that combo, Will and Kurt. Two really good players, two good buddies, are going to be able to mesh really well. Janzi's played with Kurt in the past on the ATL Waterboys. So these guys have kind of really played together. They have some history. So I think this Widowmakers team is a really good roster going into this weekend and has a really good chance to win this whole tournament. I will say, with the switch of um, with Janesy going to PC and whatnot, all that change. Yeah, I get it. It is what it is. But now he is on it, so we got to deal with it. That's where we're at. And I think he can actually make some noise. Like we're seeing him have a great series here, and he had that huge, crazy clutch 1v3 against the Hollow Knights. I think that was in the game 5. No, that was map 2 there. But I mean, they lost one series of Fab 4, 2-3 when he was on console, and then he switched, and it's been a completely different team. They lost to the Gorillas in a close series, and they, really kind of win a close series here. So Widowmakers, they're a pretty good team, and yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like that insight better than I have on that one. And I honestly I didn't get to cast a lot of Widowmakers this split, so I feel like they're probably one of the teams I have got to check out the least, even though I have seen pretty much all, if not all, the matches. But we have two more matches to talk about. I'm gonna get through them so we can get to the rest of our stuff here. We got the Masturbators and the Grim Reapers, and it was a masturbator slammage, but the Grim Reapers did finally show some signs of life. We don't have to go back on it
Keep
too
this
much
shit
because we kind of
quick.
talked about it already. But they won the S&D masturbators though. Kind of, Yerm dunked on him as he said at one point. And yeah, nah, it's that was a little bit of a rough one for the Grim Reapers. Masturbators locked up that third place spot with that match, and yeah, no, a little quick recap on that one because we kind of talked about the Grim Reapers a lot. I feel like already.
Yeah, I like this masturbators team. I really like Urim. Think he's a really solid player. I love Hoff. Hill's always a consistent player. He's gonna be holding his irons, and then Tink. I love Tank. I want a tournament with this guy.
SOB
You know what
camp
I
right
mean?
there.
Like he's gonna show up come tournament time. Like that's what you're gonna get out of Tank. And then Hoffy. I mean, I feel like he's stepped up. A lot from last year to this year. I feel like last year I don't think he
Dude,
enjoyed.
I'm not gonna glaze Hoffy just because he's in chat, but from what I've seen from the Xmas Clash, from what I've seen in these last two matches, I think Hoffy is like one of the top players right now. Like I feel like if he comes out on Saturday shooting and Urim plays how he plays, this is gonna be a really tough team to beat.
Yeah, no, Hoffy. Like what I was saying is, I think he took a step back last year. I don't think he actually enjoyed the game that much. I think he actually really likes the game this year. I think he's really enjoying it, playing it. I thought he was one of the better players in MW3. I got the team with him once there last year. We teamed, but it was unfortunate situations when we did team. But I think Hoffy's a really good player. Great irons, great vibes. So I feel like this team, especially, I mean, Hoff and Tink, they're always they're as one kind of, I guess you can say it, like kind of like I was talking about with Will and Kurt. They got a good
Hmm.
deal of relationship, friendship there, and Yerm, I feel like he's always got
Good
great
team
vibe. Yeah,
chem.
they got good chem. So and you bring Yerm into that. I think this team's a vibey team that they might be down 2-0 in a series and 6-0 in the fucking exposure, and um, and they're gonna be fine. Like they're gonna be vibing. Like that's the one thing about this team that I really like.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we didn't even talk about Hill, on the squad, like through all that. Like Hill's a great player too.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's
You
gonna
know,
hold his irons and win his ones. Is what he's gonna do.
yeah. So like, so I really think it's gonna be an interesting team to watch when it comes to this weekend. And then we have one last match to talk about finally. This one was the last match and it was a banger. Goon Squad versus K9s. This one went map 5. The K9s did take it. And yeah, some might say top 5 Mike might have reared his head out of the hole he had dug himself so far. He had a 42 kill, 1.45 KD map 1, and had a decent map 2. Kind of struggled a little bit when the Goon Squad started to come back in those maps 3 and 4, but I was able to play decent in that in that map 5 and help his team come away with it. So You know, K9's Goon Squad. K9's again continued the theme. They won both of the hard points in, or wait, they didn't win both the hard points. I'm capping. They won the first hard point, but they continued their theme of being a really good hard point team. And I mean, Blackheart, I did, talk a little bit behind the scenes of some of these guys, and I know Blackheart K9s were just throwing it out there just to try it, get some reps on it. And it might not be a map that they look to play throughout the bracket this weekend. So,
Yeah,
you
no, they
know,
ain't touching
if
that map.
if
They
yeah,
ain't touching
if
that.
they if they if they look good in all these other hardpoint maps, like, that's pretty. If you, I mean, two hard points in every series, that's two maps. You're gonna go the distance every time if you can at least do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, finally we see some life out of Mike, but kind of really what I was talking about in the one series we mentioned earlier. Their win over what was it, Gizmos with this Goon Squad. It was really lonely. Really catapulting them to win. And you kind of see this again in this series as
Yeah,
well. I mean, Nick kind of sitting in the backpack there. Two stinkers of a maps there. Out of Nick, and that's the league's favorite guy right here is Nick 23. So I mean, stinker maps out of him. You hate to see that out of him. I know Mike was absolutely loving it. Maybe Nick can't beat Mike. So yeah, I don't know. Yet again, this Goon Squad team has shown that they are human. That they are beatable, and they lost the I think going into that match the second ranked team in the league and lost it. So
yeah, and I think sometimes for a team when you like go into a bracket, showing a little bit of signs that you're human as one of those top teams is kind of refreshing. It kind of gives you that like reality check that like, hey, we can lose. We're not invincible. We do have to play at our best, or else we are gonna lose our opportunity. And I think sometimes the team needs that. You look at the Gorillas who are 4-0, like besides a couple series where they got taken to the brink, like they haven't really shown any signs of slowing down. And I mean, that could build up too much ego. You never know when it comes to a bracket. And yeah, no, looking at the stats, man, Lonely really, really propelled
is this
the
guy gonna
Goon
be a
Squad
cap
to the
next
end of it.
major?
I mean,
Is he
I
gonna
don't
be a
know,
cap?
man. Like Lonely, your stats are really high for someone who was picked last for a team. Um, like, man, it's crazy. I think I forget what it was in the overload at one point. Um, but like it's absolutely popping off, and I mean, yeah, when you have a player you draft last, like we already talked about, and he's popping off as good as a first pick or a captain should, like you're gonna do great, regardless.
Yeah,
So
life's gonna be
uh,
nice.
yeah,
I'd be going
and I mean it
31 and
really came
33
through in
on a
this
map
series
too,
too.
loving it. I would be like,
Yeah.
damn, my tier four is doing that shit. Bet. Like, oh, I'm vibing. But yeah, I see him in the chat. I will talk about you. I was getting
Mike,
there.
you just
I was,
missed the whole thing of
I
me
was
talking
get,
about you
I
guys.
was getting on my hate watch for the fucking Goon Squad. Mike and Isaac are the two biggest pick me people I've met probably in my fucking life. They finally win a series. They finally fucking look like they have some life. Mike has fucking one good map, and I'm gonna talk about it. But his one good map, he had one bad map. You went 31 and 41. How in the fuck do you get 31 kills and go negative 10? Like, figure it out what you're doing on the map. You're getting in fucking 90 fucking engagements. Slow down, hold an iron. Like, I gotta teach this guy how to play COD every year to be fucking relevant. But I mean, yeah, you had a great map one, Mike. You had phenomenal. Nick couldn't shoot his gun back. Okay. Revo was hungover. Okay. I was gonna stroke it, but you come in here, you ask for fucking guess what? You're not getting it. And then you had a decent map two, 8 and 5, whoop dee dee doo. Then shit, shit, shit. Like you got carried in map five, Isaac called a game.
Yeah, no,
Jesus
great,
Christ.
great map five there by Isaac, 13 and 5. It's
Yeah,
what you
get in
want
the
to see from your
backpack.
team captain.
We know map
Uh,
five, Mike, what you're doing. You're tucking your corner and you're holding an iron. Let somebody else go do the heavy lifting for you.
we talk
Mike,
about a team that lost. Mike, you guys played two other matches. You're gonna come in on the last one and say like, oh, like you guys were in here already.
you're still negative. You got a point nine. How in the hell
Oh wait,
you
no, wait.
Mike?
Actually, I'm a liar. They weren't in here already. But we talked about you already.
Yeah, I did talk about him.
You,
Look,
we literally talked about you first, Mike.
Mike is literally such a pick me fucking person.
Holy shit!
You had one good
Join the
series.
podcast on time, brother.
You had one good fucking map, and you want me to act like you're God again. Let's see if you can play like this all weekend, and you'll get some kudos. But yeah, no, it was a good win for them. Okay, yet again, I'm not huge on Goon Squad. Okay, like for the sole purpose of if you're relying on your last pick, which Lonely's a really solid player, you know what you're beatable, and that's what I've seen in two of their series. This series they relied on him, they lost. The other series they relied on him and won. So Goon Squad is definitely beatable. It's a big win for K9s going into the major. If you want to stay in for the power rankings, Michael, you'll see that. But yeah, it's just a big win for K9s going into the major. Maybe some momentum swing coming in.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. But now that we got through all the matches, we can get into the power rankings and the stats and standings and some of those other things. So, do you wanna move to the power rankings next? So,
Yeah,
what you're feeling?
we're gonna jump over here into the power rankings. We got some movement here, some ups, some downs. We got some big jumps. Biggest jump of them all, Fab Four dropping 4 slots. Really struggling. Mike's texting me now. Oh, this guy's down bad for the attention. Do you want me to join? No, I don't want you to join. I'm already moved on. Um,
Yeah,
the
we got other segments to do, Mike. You
the
can you can
the, the
you can defend yourself tomorrow on the in the Call
yeah
of
yeah
Duty.
yeah. You can defend yourself. Let the gameplay talk. But yeah, the Fab Four dropping 4 spots from 4 to 8. Um, from week what are we? Um, from week 3 to the major week, so they do drop a couple spots. Goon Squad as well. Yes, Lonely. You lose to a team that I put at fucking 8, and you lose. You're dropping some spots down. K9s, I'm rewarding you for a win and putting you over the team you beat. You go to what? Are they 2-2, or am I just being completely
They
fucking
are two
faded?
and two.
Yeah, they are 2-2. So I'm giving you guys there, the bump, the +3 there. You guys go up. The Goon Squad fall from 3 to 6 after that ugly, ugly loss to the K9s. And then yeah, I think the top four kind of really stays, or the top four has really been the same. Widowmakers, Master, Good Boys, Gorillas, kind of interchangeable, and Goon Squad was there. They probably would still be up there if they didn't lose to the K9s, and K9s would probably be down there around that 7-8 spot, but they do win.
Yeah, and I mean, important drop to note: Fab Four -4 spots. I mean, you know, before they came back and lost those two matches, they were looking like they might be higher. That's went down from 4 all the way to 8. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for moving Goon Squad down that far. I mean, they did lose to a team that was potential. They were 1-2 going into that match. Looking to potentially be one of the last. Well, they ended up being one of the last seeds, but nobody really thought. From everybody I talked to, it really sounded like everybody was just assuming Goon Squad had won that already. So like, yeah, you got to drop when you lose a match that you're favored
Look,
in. That's sports.
this is like Michigan losing to Appalachian State. That's what I'm
Oh
comparing.
man.
That's what I'm
Oh
comparing
man.
this loss to. Right now, if I'm saying if they play in the tournament, who am I picking? I'm picking Goon Squad, but power rankings to me, I'm going based off of what's it called? Recency. It's recency bias, and
Recency
you lost your
bias.
last
Yeah.
match to a bad team.
The Smiles AP top 10.
This is the Smiles AP top 10. You dropped because you lost. You're not Alabama, okay? Only the Widowmakers are Alabama.
Gizmos. Well, ah, Gizmos might be Georgia at this point.
They might be. The Gorillas are Ole Miss though.
Oh
Toddy
yeah.
toddy.
I don't know. I don't know.
But no, anyways, yeah, some movement around. Yet again, just want to keep a little tab on it. Bloodline don't move. The Fab Four, like you mentioned, they dropped a lot. Bad end of the split for them. And then Hollow Knights and Grim Reapers, they've been interchangeable. Um, between 9 and 10, truthfully, throughout the entirety of the split. Since after week 1, Hollow Knights, I do give them the edge because they won a series. Yeah, they won a series. Yeah, they did. They beat. They won a series, so they move up and they've showed some life here towards the back end. Would love to move them up a little bit more. I just like the Fab Four a little bit too much, but yeah, I think this major is pretty even. What do we think? Everybody's saying I'm faded because I dropped teams in the power rankings. Um, Lonely, you want to defend yourself, so you're. I see you're in the chat typing. Where do you think you belong after losing to the Canines? Because you were at 3. Where you're at? Where do you think you belong? I'll let you have a chance to make your case.
Yerm saying that the masturbators or the Hoosiers might make me throw up. Wait. We're talking about Indiana. Oh wait, are we talking about? I thought it said Sooners. I'm faded. It's been a long week. I thought that said Sooners. I was about to tweak out, but Hoosiers fine. Go Indiana's cool.
Come on,
Oh,
Lonely.
masturbators Indiana.
No, masturbators are not. They're the
Uh,
masturbators are fucking. Is Atlanta, bro? No, they're not. That's the Widowmakers. Widowmakers are Georgia's. The masturbators, they might be. They might be Ole Miss. They might be Ole Miss. Gorillas might
oh
be
yeah, are
Indiana.
we gonna say Gorillas or Indiana? Yeah,
Nah,
I you
cause
know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's about as close as you can get it. I was about to tweak out though. I hate Oklahoma. Don't even. Oh,
Right. Okay,
I
but
saw the double. I saw the double O and I
yeah,
tweaked.
but you lost to a bad team in your last match. I like that. Defend that. I don't. That's week one's different than week 3. You lost your last match to legit a bottom 4 team. Yes, you're bad, Isaac. Your team stinks. Get this
Yeah,
guy
man, I don't
out
know
of
if we
here.
want to compare
Yeah.
you to Lane Kiffin, brother. You're gonna leave your team and go join somebody else. Who's
That's I.
LSU?
That's Isaac's team, bro. That's K9. That's K9. That's fucking K9. K9's LSU, bro. I'm telling you. Grib making a run, chop. Hey man, I know you've been playing with aim assist off this entire time. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I mean the power
Hey man,
rankings.
Grim could really make a run. We
I did.
gotta lock in, brother. But
We beat the 2 and the
it's not
4, but I
impossible.
understand it. Yeah, he is, and for the people in the chat that don't know, I am an Ole Miss guy, so I hate Lane Kiffin. He's a hell. But yeah, let's hop on over to. We do have the bracket that we do
Yes,
have set
sir.
up. So we're going to take a look here at the bracket. It might look a little goofy because it looks the exact same as the background that we are going into. So it might look a little goofy and a little whack, but we do have the bracket. This is the layout. What time are we starting on
11 a.m. So we starting winners round one at 11 a.m.
Oh, we got hit with the
Eastern time.
fucking ad. So now we have to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We'll give
L
y'all a
ads.
second with the
L
ad. Shout out
ads.
to everybody who can still hear us, who are subscribed. We're gonna give people who don't have money a chance to hear our bracket predictions. But yeah, drop a sub. Uh, what those who have turbo, those who are subbed. What are your predictions? Let me hear what Chad thinks. I want to hear what Chad thinks. I think this is gonna be a little bit of a banger tournament. Smile.
Bro,
It
Dassey's going to be
does.
pissed, bro. It's been a year of my prime sub going to him.
Hey man, Dashy's got enough subs. I think he'll be okay. I gotta support the brand.
I am the brand.
Quite literally, this SOB podcast.
Exactly. But yeah, I
But
think, I don't know. Let me know when we're all back. He's really going to miss that shit out. He
35 seconds
is.
left on these ads.
How long?
Hey, Jake, that's a W249 to us though. Hey.
Split 6 ways, bro. Just give the shit to Dashy. Oh, fuck. I'm
I'm
sorry.
crying.
That shit got me weak. How much
That's
longer on
funny.
the ads?
Like 10 seconds.
All right.
So we can just get going into it. All right, so start off our predictions. You want to start
Well,
off with
well,
Fab
yeah.
4K9?
So we're gonna start off obviously 11 o'clock start. We're starting on time. I know we got 20 people in here. I'm positive that's 17 out of the
Oh, we
fucking
are starting
20.
on time. If you're
Eh,
15 minutes late, you're losing map one, and I don't give a
yes,
fuck.
yes. So there will be map forfeits getting handed out. People do have stuff going on Saturday. So, we're going to need to be running on time, on schedule. There will be no let me run and get breakfast, this, that, and the other. Hell, I got to go to Best Buy for a new controller. Headset's not working. Make sure your shit's working tonight because map forfeits will get handed out. And nobody gives a fuck. But yeah, we're gonna go in and we're going to jump in. Eh,
Wait, what? Oh, I
hold
see
on.
what
I
you're
gotta
saying.
run it first.
Oops. Should have did that before the pod
Yeah,
started. Sorry,
it's all
guys.
good. No, we're here. We're here.
We're here
We're here.
on the Fly SOB podcast. We're locked. All
Yeah, that's
right.
all we do. But yeah, we're kicking off with K9 and Fab Four. So I mean, just to take a little look at both.
I get the feeling you and I might disagree on this match.
Would disagree.
Uh
Okay.
huh.
Who do you got?
I think Canines take it. Do you think?
I,
I don't think you're gonna pick the Canines.
no, I have this shit going 3-2.
I also have it going 3-2, but I have Canines taking it.
Yo, can you start? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think Mike Desi is at work tonight. He's working till 5 a.m. tonight, so a quick turnaround for Mike. He's gonna be tired. Get his bacon, egg, and cheese. He's not gonna show up early. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I got Fab Four waking up playing really good. I got 3-2 in the chat. Um, to start us off with, we're 50-50 split here, so we're gonna need some people in the chat that are not on these said teams to make a prediction here.
Yeah. I mean, like I know Mike. Mike. Holy shit, might be a little tired. I couldn't get that might out to save my life. Um, but I know someone who's gonna be up at around the time that Mike goes to bed, and that's gonna be too sweet. My boy, he's an
All
early
right,
riser. He works 6 a.m.s. He's gonna be ready to go, and too sweet narrative tier two sweet might be coming out. He has been kind of the X factor for this team. If he's performing as well as Mike can in some of these matches, like I think they'll be all right. You know,
Bracky, we're not
I
there yet. We're not there yet.
yeah we're taking it match by match,
So
Bracky. We'll get there soon.
so Jake did step in. He was the first chatter we had that put his 2 cents into the penny jar. Jake did say Fab Four we're gonna win, so we're gonna go
All right,
ahead.
so we can put it on Fab Four,
We're
but
gonna
we'll
put it on Fab Four. We're dropping down
I'm gonna
here.
keep track of our individual predictions for us to talk about
That's
on the
fine.
next pod.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Write them down. That's fine. Just love to see you lose. Yeah, Jake's still holding that grudge from when he was sitting on the couch watching SOB win another championship. Um,
Ooh.
Hollow Knights versus Grim Reapers. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think it's close, but I think Hollow Knights win it 3-2.
You know what? I hate to be that guy, but I was gonna say Hollow Knight's 3-1.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. We can do 3-1.
But
You're
I think
nothing.
we both agree.
Yeah, I gotta let other
uh,
people win, man. Yeah, I will. I mean, I think 3-2 for sure. But I mean, we're both picking it, so I picked this one. We'll go with your map score on that one for sure. And then yeah, we're kicking it off. We're going straight here, and I mean, this is a preview of a match we've already seen. Fab Four versus the Gorillas. They played them in a tight series here. Pull it up on the in the chat for everybody that's watching us. I mean, depends on the maps that do get played. But truthfully, I just think the Gorillas are too much for the Fab Four to handle. I got a 3-1 for the Gorillas.
yeah. If it does end up being a Gorillas Fab Four, I would kind of pick that as well. I think if the Canines, I think I might go Gorillas either way, but I think depending on the maps, either of those teams could pull off an upset. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with Gorillas at least in terms of predictions.
And then Gizmos versus Bloodlines. I'm
Yeah, this
I'm
one's
go,
an interesting one. I think this is like probably like
I'm going
the
3-2,
both
bro.
of the 2-3 matchups, like
I'm
two
going
seed
three
versus
two.
three seed matchups, are so slow, like so close. I agree. Yeah, I'd say Gizmo's 3-2. I mean, Poison in map 5 has been absolutely unbelievable.
Uh, and then Goon Squad versus the Hollow Knights. Now Nick's playing against a guy he didn't want back in the league. Is Magic gonna be able to? Is Magic gonna be able to have enough? I do think we have an upset in
Really?
the bracket. I think shit gets mixy starting off early. I got the Hollow Knights winning 3-2. I like the way they're playing. Carson's playing out of his mind. Magic's playing a lot better. Fuck's his name? Vonsky's playing better as well. Like I really like this Hollow Knight squad. Oh, dude, I want to pick them winning 3-2 so bad. I just don't think I can. Now that I'm thinking about the matchups, the rosters, I mean, the Goon Squad's roster is fucking stacked. I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1 Goon.
3-1 Goon.
If it goes
I'm okay with
five,
that.
if it goes five, I truthfully think the Hollow Knights take it.
Yeah,
Like,
I could see that as well. Flix is phenomenal in S&D and has had some great Map 5 performances already this split. So I wouldn't be surprised if that did go that way, Map 5. But I feel like I also agree, like, Goon Squad is probably going to take that. I mean, if Nick shows up and then Revo and only play how they've been playing, like that team's just going to be rough to
yeah,
play against.
I agree with that. And then, like I said, there is an upset in the bracket. I'm picking the Masturbators to win this series.
You know
3
what?
to 2.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
But hey, look,
Um,
I'm huge on the Widowmakers, so don't count the boys out. The boys are gonna
yeah,
the boys are gonna get rolling through.
yeah. I don't think it's gonna be like a slammage of a series either way by either means. I do feel like I favor the masturbators. I feel like that Yerm and Offie combo is pretty strong, and I feel like they got some good pieces behind them as well. But I mean, you could say the same thing for the Widowmakers, right? With Will and Kurt and Janzi and Sketchy. So,
Yeah, there's
you
a good
know,
team.
yeah, I seriously think both of our 2 seed versus 3 seed matchups are going to be absolute bangers, and um, neither team have played each other yet. So, oh, I don't
I
know. That's
I got the Widowmakers
oh
falling, and then I got the Widowmakers Covenant losers. Look, I think there's gonna be a prediction. I think there's gonna be a loss and an upset. And team that's I'm huge on the Widowmakers, right? But I think there's gonna be one upset in this set of matches here. The first set, the winners round two, right? And I think the best team that has that chance to pull out that upset is the Masturbators. It could be completely wrong, but I think they're the team that's gonna do it. Then like I said, I don't think the Widowmakers are gonna die out. There's no way I see this Widowmakers team get DFR'd. I have them winning this shit 3-0. I have them coming back to losers and just absolutely stomping. I don't think there's any fucking way that I see the K9s win the series.
yeah. I mean, if that's hey, don't say y'all because I'm on your side. I don't even think you're going to be in this spot on the bracket, Cloudies. But if I don't know if I'd see 3-0 here. I feel like they'd definitely put up a fight. I don't know if I agree with that prediction. We kind of differ on the K9's aspect of this prediction. I do kind of agree with what's Isaac was saying in chat. I think K9 are a dark horse team.
Bro,
You know,
Kev's a two-time champ, bro. He's not bowing out that early, bro. I can make the
I,
same argument for the Fab Four. Grant's been in like 7 finals. That's a
yeah, it's
wicked,
very true.
like that's a
It's very
wicked,
true.
that's a very wicked first round matchup between two teams that are like literally built the fucking same. Like on
Yeah,
and I feel
honestly,
like
yeah.
the Fab Four is playing better. Like even though they've struggled more down the stretch, yet again
Well, I
they've
don't know. I don't know
played
if you could
better
say they're
throughout.
playing better
They played
after the
better.
K9s
They
just beat the number one team, though.
right, but they played better the entirety of the split. That's the only time we've seen the K9s really have life. And it took Nick having a fucking disaster class for them to win, and they almost got reverse swept. Like let's not act like they blew him out of the water.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't blow them out, but I mean, it does take a lot if you're a team who's like, been back and forth. You're playing the best team in the major. It is
Nick
going to take a lot, and
Nick just
that
came back from
overload.
vacation too. Let's not make that
That's
argument.
very true.
So
That
let's
is
let's
very
let's
true.
let's be honest. We're gonna make excuses for said people, but not carry him over. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah,
So
hey,
that's
you're
it's
you're. I definitely agree with you.
tapped in. I
But
have
that
Widowmakers
overload.
winning this shit.
That overload between Goon Squad and Canines, it was the most crazy COD timing thing. I wish I had it like clipped specifically to show it. Like they were tied, and Isaac goes into the room and just misses Nick with the drone, like going toward like past him, and then they scored. And that's like pretty much the reason Goon Squad like started their comeback. So
Yeah, I
Canines
agree.
could have easily 3-0'd that, but shoulda,
But they
woulda, coulda.
didn't.
They weren't able
Yep.
to.
But
And
Isaac, I see all this stuff in Isaac, but I just think there's no way this Widowmakers team bows out DFR. I don't see it.
You know, I mean, hey, if you could put that. I'm not gonna argue
I,
too
I
much.
I don't even think if the fucking masturbators fall here, the masturbators lose here. Like I don't think the
Oh
loser of this
yeah,
series loses to this team. One of these two teams is getting DFR. One of these two teams that are playing right here.
yeah. I could see that, but at the same time, I mean, if you're that team who loses that first round, you could be a little pissed off that you lost.
And yet
So
again,
you never know.
the hate watch is all coming in to fruition all at once. I got a big upset for the Green. I can't. What do you
Oh,
think?
real? Are you gonna pick Grim here?
Bro, I
I mean,
don't know. Dude, I hate just picking all favorites. I'm not a fan of that shit
yeah,
whatsoever.
I
Like
like picking upsets too.
that shit never pans out. Jacob Terry, CEO Lane is not a morning cat. He is not. I feel like, the struggles are going to come in. They're going to lose a tight series. We talked about
Yeah,
commitment
we,
and
we we had talked
passion
about Mike not
out of
getting any
this
sleep.
team. I promise you. I think the Grim Reapers are going to win a 3-2 fashion. I can't. There's no way.
Hey
Oh,
man,
they
you know
showed
what?
me
You know
no
what?
life.
You know
They
what?
showed me no life. That's the thing. I'm getting insider text from
Uh,
this team saying that this team is chopped. Trust me, like I'm reading the chat. I love this team. I picked them for my fucking number one team for a power rankings, and they shit the bed completely. I gotta go 3-1 bloodline, bro. I can't. I can't. I think they get a map, but I don't think they haven't played each other, have they?
no,
Man,
they
I
haven't.
I
They're
love
opposite divisions.
I love storylines and shit. I just yet again, it's another thing to where it's one team that's making me like just like this. I don't think the Widowmakers are getting DFR, right? It doesn't matter what team you put here. I don't think the Widowmakers lose it. Truthfully, like fuck. Besides the Gorillas, but like you know what I'm saying? The possible
Yeah,
teams they can match up with here. I don't think the Widowmakers or the Masturbators lose it, right? That's just where the
yeah.
bracket fumbled, and then the same thing like Bloodline. As much as I would like to pick a 10 spot, I don't think they beat the Hollow Knights. And like maybe if the Hollow Knights are here, I pick them over the Bloodline. I'm gonna go with the Bloodline 3-1. I'm gonna go with the
Okay.
Bloodline 3-1.
I mean, I would love to be wrong about the Grim Reapers. I would really love to be wrong
So
about the
would
Grim
I.
Reapers.
I
I think
had
we
a
both would.
power ranking number one.
I mean, like, Ty's playing really well too. Like, it's not like, it's not like this team is like, all getting absolutely just, slammed. But he kind of needs a little bit more help.
Yeah, or they
Whether
can be
it's
able to.
Droopy, whether it's Scrape, like he needs a little bit more of something.
Yeah, and I just don't know if it's gonna be that much of a turnaround to be able to get it. Yeah, like help him get over it. Like
Yeah,
it's. Are they already at that point of no return?
yeah, 100%, 100%. So
We get the
you want to do the
battle.
next losers round,
Yeah,
or do you want to?
we'll do losers here. Then we're gonna go
Okay.
yet again. We get my favorite match that I casted, the Battle of Atlanta. We're gonna see it again. It's a preview of a match that we've already saw. It was what was it? It was a 3-0 in fashion of the Widowmakers. I think it all
I
relies
don't
on.
think it ends up at 3-0 this
I
time.
don't think it does either. Hollow Knights are playing a lot better. It really relies on Magic and Vonsky. You know what you're going to get out of Carson. But like I said, I'm a big fan of the Widowmakers. I think the Widowmakers are able to pull it out and continue, their run. There's always a team that falls here and makes their run to about right here or even here. I've made the run from here to here twice last year. So there's always a team that does it. And I think the Widowmakers, continue their run after a slow start on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think if Widow's not locked in, Hollow Knights could definitely come out and prove anybody wrong. But I think Widowmakers are really strong going into this one, and I think it'll probably end up the same. Definitely don't think it's a 3-0. Like I said, I think Hollow Knights at least take a map, if not two. But yeah, I kind of agree there. And Fab Four Bloodline, I think this, we didn't want to put the Bloodline upset against the Grim Reapers, but I think this one, I think I would have to go with Fab Four.
I'm in there with you.
Um,
3-2.
I like because I don't think that's how their pool play match went. I'm pretty sure Bloodline might have won that one. I don't remember. Let me actually. Can you look for me? You still have it open?
3-2.
3-2 Fab Four. Oh, so Fab Four did win that. Yeah. So Fab
No,
Four's already beat
Bloodline
them.
won it. Bloodline won
Oh,
it.
Bloodline beat them. Oh, my bad, my fault.
Yep.
Bloodline beat them, but I mean, it was map 5. It was so close, right?
Six
And,
four.
and They won the first map. They won the overload. So it's like, yeah, it was 6-4. They were 2 rounds away. So it's, Fab Four with a little bit more game under them.
It's hard to beat
Can
a team
hopefully,
twice.
yeah, it is really hard to
It's
beat
hard
a
to beat a
team
team twice.
twice. And, the maps could go a certain way. I don't know. I'm seeing Fab Four there.
Let me just zoom out one more spot. Let me see how that looks. And then we're gonna go here. Um, I kind of already have my grand finals in my head. I'm gonna go down here to this match here. I do think the Goon Squad just does have too much firepower for the Masturbators. Um,
Yeah, I'd say that maybe like a 3-1 or a 3-2.
it'll be a 3-1. It'll be a close series. They'll lose. It'll be whatever. They'll be close to pushing them at 5, but they won't be able to. But it doesn't mean their run's done just yet. And then up here, I mean, this is such a hard series for me to pick.
It is, but you know what? I think I'm gonna take Gizmos.
I'm leaning towards that way too. Point 0.9 and a point 0.8.
Like, yeah, like because the only reason I say like
I'm gonna be
I just
honest, bro. I realize if Han's shooting or not. If
yeah,
I'm
it
gonna be
really
completely
does.
honest with you.
If and I mean, as we talked about at nauseum at this point, Jay Wall and Coney, if their heads are on straight, like that's just gonna be a really really hard team to beat.
Either Gizmos wins here or they lose and they bow to the tournament. Like
Yeah,
this is a swinging
I
point
could
for
agree with
them
that for
because
sure.
like, golly, this is a tough match for me to pick.
Yeah, especially so like if one of those teams drop there, they might have to play that losers round three match on Sunday. So if that does end up being the case and they have to play a day between matches, that might not help in their
You
favor
know
either.
what? I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I am gonna pick
Are
the
you gonna go
gorilla.
Gorillas?
I kind of want to go gorillas. I know we've agreed a lot.
We could go Gorillas. I'm okay with that. I mean
I,
they are the number one seed, and Krata is absolutely lights out. I think Krata versus Poison is definitely going to be one of those like Sunday night football type of matchups.
yeah, I'm just like I'm trying to think off the top of my head on kind of where we're at, what's gonna be going on. Obviously, Crowder, Cooper, but then looking at the rest of the team, I mean, I mean, I'm not saying this in a mean way. Frog, I love you to death, but it's really Frog versus Han in this matchup, and Frog's just playing a little bit better. Like that's what it comes down to for me. I think Gorillas win the series. I think they win it. I think they win it in 4. I think if it goes 5, Gizmos wins it. If it goes in 4,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think.
okay with that. Yeah, 100% okay with that.
And then, like I said, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
to
if either
I'm gonna go to this match first. I do think the Masturbators beat the Fab Four. I do think they keep rolling.
really,
Yeah, I think they do
yeah,
keep rolling. This is a team that
yeah,
they're playing really good. Like it's really yet again we're going to it. It's a Fab Four here. It's Swizz is playing good. Grizz, I mean, I love Hoff too. That's the thing. Hoff and Yerm have been playing electric, and I mean Hill's been doing his thing. On paper though, I will say Fab Four is a better team. Looking at it now, they've lost a lot of tight series. I feel like if Masturbators win it, I feel like the longer the series goes, Fab Four's chance of winning is better.
yeah,
Masturbators, I feel
definitely.
like would have to get out to a hot start and kind of really put them behind the 8 ball early on. So I
Yeah,
think
I definitely agree.
what do you think? I'm cool with
Um,
whatever.
I'm okay with going with masturbators. Honestly, I do think Yerm and Hoffy's pretty strong. I'm pretty high on them. I think like by this point in the day, you might start to run in some things like how we talked about that one series that Fab Four did lose to Hollow Knights, where they were winning the first two matches and Swizz was playing really good, and
Put
then
their foot off the
they might have,
gas.
and then yeah, I
Yeah,
think something like that could maybe happen. At that point, your Fab Four, you had to play in every single round up to that point, so you played a lot of COD and Masturbators just a little, just slightly bit fresher. I think they might take it there. And then, as we
yeah.
talked about already, if Gizmos lose at this point, they're probably going to get pointed. So, I kind of agree there, and probably take Widowmakers.
And I'm gonna be honest. So we're gonna jump up here. I do. I do think we see. Yet again, Nick's been in these positions so many times before. Like Nick's, he always shows up on tourney day. I'm expecting the slower maps he has had in the split aren't going to be there. Come here. I do think the Goon Squad do win and advance and put the Gorillas to losers finals.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that.
And I'll go
Um,
3-2. I'm not a fan of 3-0s for anybody. That I think Clousy said something in the
yeah,
chat.
no,
I hate
and
3-0s.
honestly, like
3-0s
I
are
think
boring.
you could see 3-0s. Obviously, it happens all the time, but I think a lot of these matchups are so even that like I think both the teams in each series should realistically at least take a map.
Yeah. And then I'm going here. I told you I'm huge on these cats already, but this is where I think, sadly, the Masturbators run does come to an end. They bow out top four, lose to the Widowmakers in the game five.
I'm okay with that. I definitely agree that it goes to game five. I think it could go either way. There was a chance for a while when you're looking at the standings that this was looking like it was going to be a winners round one matchup, so or winners round two, excuse me. So yeah, no, see this later on in the tournament. I would really like that. I think both these teams are pretty evenly matched, but I kind of agree that I think Widowmakers might edge it out there, especially that match is going to be our first match on Sunday, for the most part. So a night to kind of reset, refresh. Both teams coming out without a whole day of COD behind them, and yeah, and I think Widowmakers will be ready to go.
And yet again, when I picked in this series, I went to the tier fours on who was playing better. And then yet again, that's really where this goes for me too, Nick. And we talk about lonely, and that's my deciding factor in this series as well. It's going to come down to am I picking Janzi or am I
Frog.
picking Janzi or am I picking Frog? And I love Frog to death. This is where I'm gonna pick. I think the Widowmakers make the run.
Yeah.
I think that they make the run from losers round one all the way to grand finals.
Wow. I think if picking at this specific matchup, I agree that I think Widowmakers would take it. Um, I think they'd take it like 3-2, probably
I think we get 3-1. That's what I
3-1.
would. Yeah,
I'm okay with 3-1.
I think 3-1. I think they're a better team through and through. And I think yet again when I talked about it all week, I've talked about it for the 2 weeks. We'll highlight them. Goon Squad. This is your tier four, your PC check before we start. That's fine. But I mean, we talk about tier fours, right? That's lonely. And then when you go over here to the Widowmakers, you're going to see that yet again come out of here for Janzi. So I literally think like these are the two teams built best top to bottom when it comes to a four-man, team built. And I have my pick. I'll let you say who you think's going to win. And this is a best of nine, correct?
Yeah, I would assume so.
It's a best.
Um,
It's a best of nine. And truthfully, I'm gonna. I'll let you go. Who do you think wins the series?
I think when you put all the maps on the board, I do think Goon Squad would take it, but I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a long series. I I I don't know. Widowmakers could take it too, but I think I'm gonna have to stick on the Goon Squad there. I know it's kind of an off pick. This duo of Nick and Paul has gotten to the end of a lot of tournaments and just not been able to get it done. I mean, it was finals of champs. You played them,
Now,
right?
Major Five,
Major
right before
five. Yeah, I couldn't
champs.
remember which one. Yeah, so made the final, Major five. I think they made it pretty deep in champs as well, right? Like, wasn't it like top
Um,
four that they made it?
I don't know. I wasn't in losers, so I couldn't tell.
Oof,
Oh no, I was.
oof.
I was in
That
losers. I
was,
forgot.
I know.
Did I come from losers? No, I came from
Oh
winners. No,
man.
I came from winners. I came from losers when I won. Yet again, this is my storyline that's getting to me. I played Nick and Paul in the finals, and I came from losers. I beat them in the best of nine. I think the Widowmakers make the fucking run of the century. I think they take this one. I think they win five fucking what? They gotta win five maps. I think they win it.
No,
They four.
Paul and Nick dropped out like losers round two that time. Weren't they? Because they were the Fab Four, I think, that
Yeah, they
time.
dropped. They bowed out a chance pretty early, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
because the
saying
Widowmakers did not
I
start
beat
very
them in the finals,
good. Major five, yeah.
coming from losers. And I think the Widowmakers.
Mm.
And that's where I'm getting at. And yet again, you mentioned it. They've been on teams multiple times before. They've gotten there, haven't been able to finish. I think this is the last time we'll see this duo. You want to call it a duo, even though Paul's quote unquote a tier three this split. I think it'll be the last time they've run it back because I mean 4 or 5 times you don't get a win. It's kind of like phase all over again. The storylines are in. The Atlanta boys make their comeback to the league and they win the first tournament.
This tournament might be the Parker's Black Ops 6 EWC, or no, was it MW3 EWC?
Yeah, we
Excuse
don't
me.
even count that. That shit was fugazi as
When
fuck.
I know, but like when Phase One EWC that
They,
year, that
they
was
made
technically
finals that
probably
year too. Yeah, bro, they can't win in the finals, bro. Stop. They're that's right. They did make.
Phase ended up winning that EWC and MW3, and that's arguably what kept the trio together another year. So that this might be that tournament for them. Can they get the win in the grand finals and stick together and keep maybe run it back, or
I
will
don't
make
think
this
they
gonna
get
pull
it
it out?
done.
And
They've been to
I
the
don't know.
finals. I think the storylines are in, just like college football. America's rooting for Ole Miss, right? The storyline. Just imagine the dope Widowmakers are going to have going from losers round one, making the run all the way to winners finals. I think the storylines would be in. I think it'd be too funny. And yet again, I just think I don't. You've been in the finals before with this tandem, and it hasn't worked out. I don't think they get it done again. I really don't. If you want to go with Goon, that's completely fine. I'm gonna go with Widow,
Yeah,
and I think
we don't have to predict
no,
it the
we don't.
same way.
No, we don't
Mhm.
have to agree. I think we agreed a lot down the split. I think only 3 or 4 we went the other way, or three. I think. Um, but yeah, no, I think the Widowmakers win it just due to like I don't know. I think they have the second or third best team on paper, and I think when you talk about Will, Kurt, Sketchy. I mean, it's a good camp to be in, and yet again, fuck, they could get bounced and get DFR, right? But that's one of the reasons why I said I don't think they're losing to K9s. I do think they lose to the Masturbators, but I think that it's hard to beat a team twice. You'll see that throughout the entirety of these predictions, and that's why I have them losing. Losing to the Masturbators, but then beating them. You know,
Yeah,
to come back. That's why I think it's a different series when they play them again.
yeah, that'd be fun storyline wise. That's for sure. But yeah, man, this has been one of our longer episodes. Had a lot to talk about. Excited for the major one this weekend, 11 a.m. EST, right live on this channel, and also twitch.tv/Family Ties COD, all one word. We'll be live with both those matches you see on the left side of your screen. Our winners round one. 4 seed versus 5 seed matchups, K9s versus Fab 4, and Hollow Knights versus Grim Reapers. It's going to be a great tournament. Going to be a great weekend of Call of Duty. Shout out to everybody who was in chat and interacting with us tonight. It was a good show. And yeah, looking forward to some fun Call of Duty this weekend and having another great major. Don't forget, Major 2 signups are live. Um, exclamation point Discord. Look at the bio of our Twitter. Uh, link will be in the Discord. And yeah, join us if you're feeling like playing some COD, and join us this weekend if you love watching it.
Absolutely, it's a phenomenal show. Like you said, longest show we've had to date. Make sure everybody tune in tomorrow. Everybody go to bed early, get your sleep in, and be ready for 11 o'clock. I won't be casting
11 o'clock on the dot.
until later in the day, but hey, I'm gonna be in court if matches aren't getting started. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank you everybody for joining. Sketchy, it's been a pleasure as always. Yet again, you're stuck with me for a whole nother major as I still, am questionable for a return. Call me Trey Hendrickson. I don't know if I'm coming back. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining in tonight. Appreciate it as always. And we'll see you next time.
Peace out,
Bye.
y'all.